Alrighty, thank you for listening. My name is Alejandro Rivera, and you are listening to Team 12's presentation on an automated AI intervention system proposal. My name is Alejandro again. We are starting with Jessica, then it'll move on to me, then it will move on to Evan, and then it'll move on to Ryan. So I hope you enjoy listening. Let's get going.
UCF is one of the largest public universities in the United States, serving over 70,000 students each year. While platforms like Canvas and MyUCF collect valuable academic data, they do operate independently, leaving advisors to manually identify struggling students. At UCF scale, it's difficult to identify struggling students early enough to provide meaningful support before their academic integrity declines. The core problem is that many at risk students aren't identified until they're already failing courses or considering leaving the university. Students, advisors, faculty, and the university as a whole are all affected by this. Today, intervention usually begins only after grades have dropped or a student asks for help. Because advisors can't continuously monitor thousands of students and many students hesitate to seek assistance, warning signs are often missed until it's too late for early intervention. This issue impacts both the university and its students in several ways. Lower retention means lost tuition revenue and higher costs to recruit new students. Advisors spend significant time manually reviewing student information instead of providing direct support. Academically, more students withdraw from courses or fail to graduate on time. It can also affect UCF's reputation and performance metrics. Finally, delayed intervention may contribute to widening achievement gaps by preventing some students from receiving timely support. If nothing changes, this challenge will continue to grow alongside UCF's enrollment. Advisors will have even larger caseloads, making it harder to recognize students who need help before they reach a critical point. The university could experience lower retention, reduced tuition revenue, and increased pressure on support services. Meanwhile, many peer institutions are already investing in predictive analytics and AI powered student success initiatives. So, how can UCF take a more proactive approach? This is where our solution comes in.
Alrighty, thank you, Jessica. Now we know that this major problem is happening all over UCF and different universities and colleges. So, what is our solution that we propose? Well, introducing Golden Reach Assist. It is an AI intervention system that tracks different statistics from different students and will find out if they're failing a class or in danger of dropping out. And what will they do with that information? Well, reach out to them in a more caring and more useful approach instead of just linking someone to a human advisor. It will dish out what the student requires, not just giving them some easy way out. Go to advisor, see what you can do. Let's see what the student could do first. Take it upon themselves. We have done this because advisors have to track thousands of students a day, and sometimes it gets backed up, and sometimes a student may get the help they need, but a little bit too late. So we wanted to propose a solution that could help with that problem. Now that we have gone through like the general basis of what Golden Reach Assist does, let's go through the nitty gritty details of really how it works on the inside. It integrates itself as a AI system inside of web courses and MyECF, and will use pattern recognition systems to record and observe students and adapt to what they really need. It will record information such as grades, attendance for classes, and even turn in frequency of assignments. So this is how it will tier these students to prioritize who needs the help the most. And it will go from clear to maybe it might need attention soon to danger. And that danger zone is the borderline between contacting human assistance or if they are improving. And right now, that improvement is how students is how this AI will really help students out because it will improve them through specific questions. It won't just contact AI. It will give them advice based on what they are having problems with. If they're having problems with attendance, then AI will give them advice on how to help improve their attendance. Or if they're having trouble in calculus, it might link resources to different calculus tutors or books that they could use to, help improve their exam scores. Alrighty, here for our more visual learners is a system diagram of what pretty much our AI works. So our stage one will be more information collection, again, being integrated into web courses and MyECF. It will collect that information to go straight into our pattern recognition system. Again, information includes grades, submissions, GPA, attendance, whatever this AI may need to determine if a student is, close to dropping out of a class, university in general, and whatever help they may need. And this analysis will then tier them into clear, attention soon, or the danger zone, which again is the line, like the borderline between contacting human help or letting the student take more control of their, education life. And then improvements will include a feedback loop. So, more questions asked, the more the AI can improve on what they know about the student and what help they may need. And then again, it'll go back into analysis, and maybe they are approved from the danger zone to attention soon, or maybe they are more in a downward slope and will move into the danger zone instead. So, that is pretty much what this diagram is showing. Okay, well, why is this problem still relevant in the first place? Why is Golden Reach Assist needed? Well, in simple terms, our advisors are humans too. Unfortunately, they can't reach the thousands of students that may need help with whatever problems that may occur, where it may be math, not knowing which path to take in their major, and different type of problems. So other intervention like applications that try to complete this, such as EAB Navigate, have not been integrated with the personalized intervention and data observation like Golden Reach Assist has. So these students will be able to get the help they need, and advisors will have a little bit less stress on their shoulders. Now, before I pass it to Evan, how is this innovative? We know there are systems out there that help students out, but what separates ours from everyone else's? Well, again, as we discussed this before, ours is personalized. It can tell what the student needs the most in that moment of time, whether it is tutoring or maybe some general advice on homework taking skills, test taking skills, or how to get out of bed in the morning for attendance. And also, it's able to scale with the amount of students that need it. Now, when an advisor can only handle about 3 or 4 students, our Golden Reach Assist system can handle thousands of students at a time. So, no matter what student needs, no matter what student is is needed to need some help, or no matter who needs this and who needs that, our AI will be able to help everybody. So, again, advisors, don't stress too much. Students, don't stress too much. You'll be able to get what you need and want at the same time.
Hello, I'm Evan, and I will be leading the next section of our presentation. Our proposed AI intervention system creates value across several areas. Strategically, it helps UCF improve student retention and graduation rates, which are important performance indicators for the university. Financially, keeping students enrolled protects the tuition revenue that would otherwise be lost through withdrawals and dropouts. Operationally, advisors can spend more time helping students who actually need personal attention instead of searching for at-risk cases manually. From a technical perspective, AI continuously analyzes student data to detect early warning signs. Most importantly, students receive personalized support before their challenges become overwhelming. Next, I will touch on our financial reasoning for the project. Even though implementing this system requires a hefty upfront investment in software development, integration, and staff training, the long-term financial benefits outweigh these costs. Every student who remains enrolled adds continued tuition revenue for the university. Early intervention also reduces the amount of time advisors spend responding to crisis situations, making resources more efficient. If no action is taken, UCF risks losing students, tuition income, and potentially its overall performance metrics. Over time, the system can provide a strong return on investment. The system also improves everyday operations across campus. Instead of manually reviewing thousands of student records, advisors receive a prioritized list of students who may need help. This allows staff to focus their attention on areas where it will have the greatest impact. University leadership also gains access to dashboards that provide real-time insights into student success trends. Because information is shared between departments, communication improves and decisions can be made using accurate, up-to-date data. The next couple of slides will briefly touch on the project's overall roadmap. The project begins with 2 important phases. During Phase 1, UCF will conduct a review of its existing systems and gather input from advisors and administrators to help identify which student behaviors indicate risk. Finally, Phase 1 will design the overall project architecture, making sure privacy requirements are met. Next, in Phase 2, developers build the connections between university systems, train the AI model using historical student data, create the advisor dashboard, and integrate automated alerts. At the end of this phase, the university has a fully functional internal system ready for pilot testing. Moving on to Phase 3, the system enters pilot testing with a small group of students and advisors. During this phase, feedback is collected, AI predictions are evaluated, and any technical issues or potential biases are corrected. Once the testing demonstrates successful results, Phase 4 begins with the full rollout across the university. Staff receives training, student-facing features become available, and an internal support team rolls out to help ensure the system continues operating smoothly. To remain effective in the long term, the system requires ongoing maintenance after deployment. The AI model will be retrained regularly using updated student data so it can adapt to changing trends. Performance reviews and fairness audits help ensure predictions remain accurate and unbiased. As university software changes over time, system integrations will also need updates. Finally, collecting feedback from advisors and students supports continuous improvement of the system. This long-term maintenance plan helps ensure the system remains reliable and valuable for years to come.
Risks and challenges. Before recommending the system, we also consider some possible risks. So the main student-related risks are privacy, bias, and whether advisors will actually use the system. There are also some technical risks, such as whether we're able to connect it to web courses and MyUCF, and how we're going to control costs, and making sure the data is even accurate. So these risks don't make the project impossible, but they need to be planned for. To reduce these risks, UCF could use and should use encryption, limit who can access student data with role-based permissions, and review the system to make sure it has proper compliance. And the system should also be tested for bias, and important decisions should still, at the end, be reviewed by a person. Advisors should receive training and be able to give feedback. And on the technical side, UCF should start maybe with a small pilot and connect the system in phases and check the data for anything missing or incorrect at that point. So final recommendation. So to summarize, the current problem is that advisors cannot watch every student, and students may not even receive help until their grades are already fallen and they've fallen behind. So Golden Reach Assist would look for the early warning signs and send students helpful resources and give advisors prioritized alerts. And so the goal is to provide support earlier and not to just replace advisors. So we believe UCF should approve Phase 1 in a small pilot, and the system could improve student retention, protect tuition revenue, and give students support for their grades, earlier support for their grades. And it could be introduced gradually with testing and training and human oversight. And starting small would also allow UCF to measure the results before deciding whether to expand it. And thank you for listening.
Overall, how does our team reflect based on this presentation in general? Well, first off, we knew we wanted to do something that deals with UCF and students in general as fellow students, because we know what students go through on a day-to-day basis. And we knew that this problem has always plagued universities for a while, so we really wanted to put an end to it as a final goal. So we really learned that through research and by putting this presentation together, what specific aspects we must, cover to have our project funded, quote unquote, because we know it's not really getting funded, to put our proposal to life, bring it to life, such as, funding, technical aspects, what software is going to need it, cost benefit analysis, how much we'll be actually making, and how much will we be helping. So overall, that was a really good learning experience. All right. On behalf of Team 12, I want to thank you for listening to our proposal and hope you really take it into serious consideration. And again, thank you so much for listening. Goodbye now.